Good evening. Welcome back to Brass Tacks. The political and economic turmoil in the UK is going from bad to worse. Ending speculation, Liz Truss finally resigned today as Prime Minister after just 45 days in office. So now the Conservatives will have to go back to the drawing board. They'll have to elect a new leader. Will Boris Johnson, the former Prime Minister, make a comeback? Or will Rishi Sunak finally get his shot at 10 Downing?
I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected.
All right, let me bring in a very special guest who's joining us this evening on Brass Tacks. Lord Meghnad Desai is a member of the House of Lords. What a stunning turn of events, Lord Desai. Liz Truss, barely a month and a half into office, the shortest-serving Prime Minister of Britain, has now quit, and that too under rather infamous circumstances, if you will. What do you make of all of this? Where did it go so horribly wrong for a lady when she was sworn into office was being compared to Margaret Thatcher?
Well, I predicted two things. In early August, I predicted that if she gets in and does what she's planning to do, the pound will collapse. And last week, I wrote a blog where jointly with somebody else, where we said that Liz Truss would be the shortest living prime minister, shortest sort of an existing prime minister. And that has also come out true. I think basically what she wanted to do was slightly daft, but she did too soon. She didn't prepare the people for it, and her Chancellor of the Exchequer, Kwasi Kwarteng, went too far in abolishing the upper limit of income tax altogether. And I think that is sort of not a bad policy, but too quickly done, and therefore she has paid the price for it.
So
and I think the Conservative Party is very badly divided, although they have a large majority. They will have to sort out their own problems.
So who do you think now, Lord Desai, is the front runner to become the next Prime Minister? As you'd imagine, there's a great deal of interest here in India about Rishi Sunak, who was Liz Truss's main challenger. They went into the Conservative Party convention. And of course, Liz Truss won by a pretty substantial majority. Do you think that, given the turn of events over the last month and a half, do you think that Rishi Sunak now stands a chance to become Prime Minister?
Well, I know every channel in India wants Rishi Sunak to be Prime Minister. I don't think he will be Prime Minister for the very simple reason that, and I've said that before when the competition was going on, that it has come too soon in Rishi Sunak's career. He has not yet been enough in politics to know how to be a politician. He's an expert. He's kind of a technical expert. And he was a very good Chancellor of the Exchequer, without a doubt. But, in British politics, you never pretend to know everything. There is a secret to being in British politics. People like Harold Wilson and Harold Macmillan always had this style of being slightly hazy, slightly fuzzy, slightly forgetful person. Of course, they were not. They were very smart people. But the people empathize with them because they say, oh, he's just one of us. And Rishi doesn't actually appear like one of us. He appears like he's a specialist, he's a technical man, he's very good and so on. Mm-hmm. He's more like Superman rather than an ordinary person. So I think he will have to pass a bit more time before he's Prime Minister. Right now, my money is on Jeremy Hunt because he's already proved that he can calm the markets down. He's mature. He has been around. He was health secretary as well as culture secretary before. And he competed against Boris Johnson in 2019 for leadership and came second. So he's a known quantity. And he's grown up. He looks grown up. And right now, the Conservative Party needs somebody who will be grown up. Elections can't be held before 2024.
Correct.
We have a law here called Fixed Term Parliament Act, which says that no Prime Minister can call an election in midterm.
Mm-hmm.
So we will have to wait till 2024 to have election.
So in the interim, do you think that this entire fracas, the way it's played out, is just setting up for former Prime Minister Boris Johnson to make a backdoor entry? I mean, if the members of Parliament are going to elect, or if they go back to the Conservative Party members, about 200,000 of them, either case, Boris Johnson perhaps is the best case scenario. And then, of course, we forget about Partygate and all the other scandals that brought about his fall.
There is a whole view going on in opinion polls. There are a lot of people who want Boris Johnson back. I think that would be the best solution. But I think there may be some ridicule that, why did you let him go when he had. Now, Boris is a real professional, and he would be very good. But I think he always used to say that he can't afford to be prime minister, his salary is not big enough, etc. So he may want to not come back. But we will see. I mean, if he said, yes, I'll be back, because he's currently in the Caribbean on a holiday. If he says he wants to come back, he will fly back and okay, all will be well. And I think the Conservative Party will then say, let's forget the interlude when Boris resigned and we had a contest and so on. We are back where we started, and that's good for us.
All right. Forget about Partygate and forget about all the scandals during COVID. But we'll leave it at that. We'll see. It's been fascinating this last week or so in British politics. Thanks very much, Lord Meghnad Desai, for joining us. That's a wrap of Brass Tacks. Mario Shakil joining you.